You can eat on the toilet, my son-in-law said with a drunken smile when I brought gifts to Christmas dinner and there were no seats left at the table. My daughter added coldly, Dad, we have 2 chairs, but they're for Derek's parents. You'd better leave. I took a $5 million check out of my pocket and slowly tore it in half. The sound of the torn paper drowned out even the breathing of everyone present. The pieces were still falling on the festive table when I walked out the door. 40 minutes later, I had 156 missed calls and one short message from my daughter. Dad, what have you done? They didn't know yet that this was only the beginning. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what time it is where you are now. The gifts were heavier than I remembered. 3 boxes stacked in my arms, wrapped in that expensive paper Rosa always liked, the kind with the cloth texture that doesn't tear easy. I caught the top one as it slipped on the icy walkway leading to her front door, my reflexes still decent for 72. Snow fell in those fat, lazy flakes that stick to your coat and make everything look like a Christmas card. The house glowed with lights, every window warm and golden. Derek's truck sat in the driveway next to Rosa's Mercedes. I'd parked my Honda on the street, the envelope in my coat pocket pressed against my ribs. Derek opened the door before I could knock. The bourbon smell hit first, that sweet, expensive smell that meant he'd started early. His tie hung loose, shirt half untucked, face already pink. He leaned against the doorframe like it was holding him up. Well, well, the old man made it. His words came out thick. Thought maybe you'd... What, you bring half of Macy's? Just a few things for the kids. Merry Christmas, Derek. Yeah, sure. Come on in, I guess. Rosa, your dad's here. The dining room sparkled. Someone had gone all out. Centerpiece with real pine branches. Good china I didn't recognize. Candles in silver holders. 8 chairs around the table, every one of them occupied or marked with a place card. I counted twice. Rosa appeared from the kitchen, wearing that designer dress she'd posted on Instagram last week. Perfect makeup, perfect hair. She looked at me the way you'd look at a stain on the carpet. Hi, Dad. Sweetheart, everything looks beautiful. The kids, Emma and Connor, sat on one side, faces glued to their phones. Orville and Goldie Riley occupied the 2 chairs at the head of the table, the spots that should have been for family elders. Goldie wore pearls. Orville looked uncomfortable, his former cop instincts probably picking up the tension. I stood there, gifts still in my arms, scanning for my seat. I don't see where I'm... Derek laughed, that braying sound he makes when he thinks he's being clever. Oh man, yeah, we're kind of full up. Hey, bathroom's open. You could eat on the... Dad, we have 2 chairs, but they're for Orville and Goldie. Derek's parents. Rosa's voice came out flat, rehearsed. They're important guests. Important guests. Maybe you should just go. We'll do something another time. Derek swayed slightly, his bourbon glass catching the candlelight. Or the toilet. I wasn't kidding. We got a nice toilet. The ham on the table steamed. Someone had glazed it with pineapple rings, the old-fashioned way. Goldie's hand rested on the good silverware like she owned it. Emma giggled at something on her phone. The room smelled like cinnamon and pine and that bourbon on Derek's breath. I set the gifts down on the side table, nice and gentle. My hands didn't shake. 43 years directing theater taught you control, how to move on stage, how to make every gesture count. I reached into my coat pocket, pulled out the envelope. The paper made a crisp sound in the silent room. Derek squinted at it. What's that? A Christmas card? How sweet. I unfolded the check slowly, held it up high, arm extended like I was showing a prop to the back row. The paper caught the light. Numbers marched across it in neat printed lines. 5,000,000. I made eye contact with each person. Derek's face went slack. Goldie's mouth formed a little O. Rosa's makeup couldn't hide the color draining from her cheeks. Is that real? Orville leaned forward. Rosa's hand flew to her mouth. Dad, that's... Oh my God, is that... I tore it, right down the middle. The sound echoed. Derek lurched forward. Wait, wait, wait! I tore it again. And again. My hands worked steady, methodical, turning that cashier's check into confetti. The pieces drifted down onto the ham, onto the good china, onto the centerpiece with its perfect pine branches. Some landed in Derek's bourbon glass. Rosa made a sound like something dying. Goldie grabbed Orville's arm. The kids looked up from their phones. I gathered the gifts back into my arms, turned, and walked to the door. Nobody moved, nobody spoke. The lock clicked behind me with a satisfying sound. In the car, I set the gifts on the passenger seat and started the engine. My phone lit up before I'd reached the end of the block, then again, and again. The buzzing built into a steady vibration. I glanced at the screen at the stoplight. 47 missed calls. I drove another block, 83. By the time I pulled into my driveway, the counter showed 156 missed calls, over 40 minutes. I powered it off, went inside, poured myself bourbon, neat, the good stuff, and sat in my armchair. The marionettes watched from their shelves, dozens of painted faces in the lamplight, kings and jesters and dancers, all hanging quiet on their strings. I'd spent 40 years collecting them, building them, understanding how puppets move when someone pulls the right threads. My laptop sat on the coffee table. I opened it, navigated to my email, found the draft I'd prepared 3 days ago. Fake email address, fake company, real-looking website I'd built over 2 weeks. The signature read, Lucas Montgomery, Senior Partner, Montgomery Capital Partners. Subject line, Exclusive Opportunity, Portland Tech Sector. Recipient, Derek Riley's LinkedIn email. I moved the cursor to send, let it hover there. On the shelf above my desk, the king marionette in purple robes swayed slightly in the heat from the radiator. Its painted smile looked knowing. Act 1, Scene 1. My voice sounded loud in the quiet house. Let them dangle. I clicked send. The bourbon burned warm going down. Snow fell past my window, turning the street white and clean. My phone stayed dark on the table, all those desperate voices trapped inside it, unheard. The marionette's shadows danced on the walls as I adjusted the lamp. Somewhere across town, Derek was probably checking his email. Rosa was probably crying. Goldie was probably calculating. Orville was probably thinking. I leaned back, closed my eyes, and smiled. 3 days. That's how long I let them sweat. My doorbell camera picked up Rosa's Mercedes at 9:23 a.m. on December 21st. I watched on my tablet from the leather armchair, coffee steaming in my hand. She parked crooked, one wheel up on the curb. The driver's door flew open and she ran up my walkway like the house was on fire. Her hair hung loose. She hadn't even brushed it. No makeup. Same clothes from last night. The doorbell rang again. Then her fist hit the door. Dad! Dad! I know you're in there. Please! Her voice cracked. The camera showed her face pressed against the door glass, hands cupped around her eyes, trying to see inside. Please, Daddy, just let me explain. I sipped my coffee, touched the volume control, brought it down 3 notches. Her sobbing became background noise like rain. She stayed 47 minutes. The crying shifted to anger around minute 20, then back to crying. At minute 38, she slumped on the porch steps, phone pressed to her ear, probably calling Derek. At minute 47, she stood, wiped her face, got back in her Mercedes. The car idled at the curb for another 2 hours. I watched her through the blinds, careful not to move the slats. She finally drove away at 12:16 p.m. My phone stayed off. On my workbench, the marionette I'd been repairing waited. A queen in blue robes, one of her control strings frayed. I settled into my work stool, threaded new string through the tiny hole in her wooden hand. The work required steady fingers, focus, therapeutic. The queen's painted face looked serene, unbothered. I understood that expression now. My phone buzzed on the coffee table, even though it was powered off. Phantom vibrations from memory. I ignored them and mixed paint for the queen's crown, getting the gold just right. Rosa came back at 3:47 p.m. Stayed an hour. Left a note tucked in my door. I watched her do it through the camera. Didn't retrieve it until she'd driven away. The paper was damp from her tears or the snow. Couldn't tell which. Dad, please call me. We can fix this. I'm so sorry. Derek is sorry. Please. Derek's first text came at 6:03 a.m. on December 21st. You'll regret this. By 3:17 p.m. on the 22nd, his tone had shifted. Can we please talk like adults? By 8:12 a.m. on the 23rd, please, sir, I apologize. I screenshot each one, saved them in a folder on my laptop, titled it Character Arc. The progression told a story, desperation building, control slipping. I'd seen enough actors fumble through emotional scenes to recognize someone losing their grip on the script. On December 22nd, I video called Nadine Cross. She answered from her office, gray hair pulled back, reading glasses perched on her nose. Been my attorney for 16 years, handled the theater company SIL, knew me well enough to ask questions. You're really doing this? She peered at me through the screen. Draft a letter? Tell them the check's destroyed. Tell them not to contact me. Everything goes through your office now. She was quiet a moment, then nodded, started typing. Dear Ms. Riley and Mr. Riley, this office represents Lemuel Garrett. Mr. Garrett has instructed me to inform you that the cashier's check displayed on December 20th, 2024, has been permanently destroyed. No duplicate will be issued. Further, Mr. Garrett requests no contact from either of you. Any future communication must be directed through this office. Regards, Nadine Cross, Attorney at Law. Perfect. Send it certified mail. Lem, you sure about this? She's your daughter. The words came out colder than I'd intended. She stopped being my daughter when she asked me to leave. Nadine studied me through the screen. Former prosecutor, she knew when to push and when to let it go. She let it go. I'll send it today. Rosa's voicemail came at 11:47 a.m. that same day. My phone was still off, but Nadine forwarded it. Rosa had called the law office, left a message there too. I listened to it once. Dad, please, I know you're there. I can see your car. Please, just... The sob broke through. That was $5 million? $5 million? Do you understand what we... Daddy, please, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about the dinner. Derek was drunk. He didn't mean... I deleted it. My neighbor, Helen Chen, texted at 2:34 p.m. Fancy car at your daughter's house. People shouting, want me to record? I typed back, no thanks, Helen. I've got front row seats. She sent a laughing emoji and 3 more texts updating me. Derek's parents had arrived. Raised voices carried into the street. Goldie left after 20 minutes, face red. Orville stayed longer. Through a mutual friend, Terry, who ran props at my old theater, I got screenshots of texts between Derek and Rosa. Terry's daughter worked with Rosa, saw the messages when Rosa's phone was on the break room table. People talk, people share. Theater community's smaller than you'd think. Derek, this is your fault? Rosa, my fault? You told him to eat on the toilet. Derek, he was being dramatic. Rosa, it was $5 million. Derek, maybe if you weren't such a bitch to your own father. Rosa, maybe if you weren't a drunk asshole. I saved those too. The folder on my laptop grew. On December 23rd at 4:15 p.m., someone knocked. Different rhythm, 3 calm raps, pause, 2 more. I checked the camera. Orville Riley stood alone on my porch, hands in his coat pockets. No dramatics. Former Portland detective, retired 5 years ago. Derek's father, yes, but different from his son. I'd seen that at dinner, the way he sat quiet, uncomfortable, like he'd showed up to the wrong play. Lem, I know you're in there. His voice came through the door, calm, measured. It's Orville. Just me. Not here to beg. I walked to the door, stood on my side. What do you want? To say I'm sorry. What my son did. I was there. I saw it. It was wrong. You didn't stop him. No, I didn't. And that's on me. But I'm not here to ask you to forgive him. Just watch yourself with those two. Derek's desperate. Desperate people do stupid things. The words hung between us, separated by wood and locks. I let the silence stretch. I'm counting on it. Long pause. I could almost hear him thinking through the door, cop instincts processing. You're planning something. Merry Christmas, Orville. His footsteps receded down the walkway. Car door, engine, gone. That night, I opened my laptop and reviewed the fake LinkedIn profile I'd built. Lucas Montgomery. Stock photos showed a distinguished man around 50, gray at the temples, confident smile. Employment history at Montgomery Capital Partners, Seattle, a company that didn't exist but looked real enough if you didn't dig deep. Professional website. Fake client testimonials. Fake SEC filings. I'd spent 14 days building the illusion, layering details until it felt solid. At 11:34 p.m., I sent the email from Lucas Montgomery's account to Derek Riley's LinkedIn address. Subject: Exclusive opportunity, Portland tech sector. Body: Mr. Riley, your profile caught my attention. Montgomery Capital Partners is seeking local partners for a significant Portland investment. 500K commitment required. Returns projected 300% within 18 months. Discrete opportunity. Are you positioned to discuss? L. Montgomery, senior partner. I hit send, then sat back. The marionettes watched from their shelves. The king in purple robes swayed slightly, the radiator heat making air currents, making him move. In the lamplight, his painted smile looked almost alive. At 11:52 p.m., my laptop pinged. LinkedIn notification. Derek Riley viewed your profile. 18 minutes. He'd taken 18 minutes to bite. I opened a new document, titled it Act 2, The Bait. Then opened another browser tab, typed in the search bar. Derek Riley, Plus Novus Tech Solutions. His startup. Rosa had mentioned it once, back when she still talked to me. Some tech company Derek founded. Something about apps or platforms or whatever people built these days. The search results came back thin. No recent press releases, no funding announcements. The most recent article dated from October, cached version only. The original had been taken down. I clicked it. Portland startup faces investor pullout. I read it twice, skimmed the details. Novus Tech Solutions had lost its primary investor in September. Derek Riley, CEO, declined to comment. Company restructuring, future uncertain. I leaned back, fingers steepled, staring at the screen. The pieces assembled themselves. Derek's drinking. The desperation in his voice at dinner. Rose's cold dismissal of her own father. Goldie and Orville in the honorary chairs. They'd probably been helping financially, propping up Derek's failing company. And that $5 million I'd torn up? That wasn't just money. That was their lifeline. The king marionette swayed on his strings. I nodded at him. You see it too, don't you? He's already desperate. We're not creating the crisis. We're just directing it. My laptop pinged again. LinkedIn notification. Derek Riley had sent a connection request to Lucas Montgomery. I accepted. 5 minutes later, another ping. Direct message from Derek Riley. Mr. Montgomery, thank you for reaching out. Very interested in discussing this opportunity. Are you available for a call this week? Best regards, Derek Riley, CEO, Novus Tech Solutions. I drafted a response, took my time with the wording, made it sound professional, but eager. Derek, excellent. Let's schedule for December 27th, 10 a.m. I'll be in Portland briefly. Coffee? There's a Starbucks on NW 23rd. Bring your financials. Lucas. I left the message in drafts, unsent. Let him wait overnight. Let him wonder. Let him check his LinkedIn every 20 minutes, hoping for a response. On my shelf, the queen marionette in blue robes hung beside the king, her crown freshly painted, strings repaired. I'd finished her this afternoon while Rosa cried on my porch. The queen's face looked patient, knowing. All the marionettes did. They understood waiting. They understood control. I poured another bourbon, sat in my armchair, and looked out the window at the snow falling through the streetlight. Somewhere in West Hills, Derek was probably still awake, staring at his phone. Rosa was probably crying again. Goldie was probably angry. Orville was probably worried. And here I sat, warm and quiet, pulling strings from the shadows, just like I'd done for 43 years in the theater. Curtain up. I started building Lucas Montgomery on Christmas Eve morning at 5:17 a.m. Couldn't sleep anyway. Coffee cup number 3 sat beside my keyboard while I opened Squarespace, clicked through templates until I found one that screamed, legitimate investment firm. Gray backgrounds, stock photos of confident people in conference rooms, the word synergy appearing exactly twice. 2 hours later, Montgomery Capital Partners had a website, client testimonials generated by AI, employment history cross-referenced with real Seattle firms that had folded years ago, hard to verify, easy to believe. I bought 500 LinkedIn followers for $50. In my theater days, I couldn't get 50 people to show up for free wine and nudity. The digital age is magnificent. Derek's LinkedIn showed he'd viewed my profile at 2:34 a.m. The timestamp told me everything. He wasn't sleeping either. December 26th, I sent the message. Derek, your background in tech management caught my attention. I'm seeking Portland-based partners for significant venture. Discretion essential. $500K minimum investment, but returns could be extraordinary. Coffee? 11 minutes. That's how long it took him to respond. Absolutely. When works, I can do anytime. Seriously, anytime. I let him wait 6 hours before replying. Eager, I like that. But first, background check. I need complete financial disclosure. Standard procedure. Nothing to hide. His response came fast. Clean as they come. I'll send everything. The everything arrived as a password-protected PDF. I'd embedded tracking software in the disclosure form itself. One of those things you learn when you hire tech-savvy theater kids for 20 years. The moment Derek opened my response email, the software installed. His computer became my window. While Derek scrambled to prove himself worthy, I opened a new email account. Beatrice.Winslow, O'Morrison Gallery, PDX.com. Bought a domain, built another quick website, the Morrison Gallery, specializing in emerging Pacific Northwest artists. Rosa's Instagram had art posts from 2019, paintings she'd done during her brief finding myself phase. Derivative stuff, honestly, but she'd poured herself into it before Derek convinced her it was a waste of time. The email practically wrote itself. Dear Rosalind, your Instagram posts reveal an eye I rarely encounter. The Morrison Gallery is curating emerging voices in Pacific Northwest art for March 2025. We need a curator who understands vulnerability in art. You, salary $60K, plus commissions. One small formality, $20K security deposit, standard for high-value art handling. Refundable after 6 months. Coffee this week? She called the gallery number, forwarded to my friend Vera, within an hour. Vera and I went back 43 years. She'd played Gertrude in my disastrous Hamlet, Blanche in my surprisingly good Streetcar. 78 years old and still sharp enough to improvise a gallery consultant on zero notice. Rosalind, your father was Lemuel Garrett, the theater director? Vera's voice through the speaker, warm and sophisticated. He's still alive. Rosa's tone went cold. Oh, my apologies. I saw his work years ago. Fragments. Brilliant. You must have inherited his artistic vision. Long pause. We don't really talk about his work. Pity. But perhaps you've channeled it differently. Your Instagram, that painting of the fractured mirror. Haunting. Rosa's voice caught. You really think so? I haven't painted in years. My husband says it's never mind. Art is never mind, darling. I muted my microphone so Rosa wouldn't hear me laugh. By December 27th, both hooks were set. Derek sent his financial disclosure, a devastation of debt disguised as optimistic projections. Rosa posted 3 Instagram stories about exciting professional opportunities. December 28th, 3:15 p.m. Video call with Derek. I'd spent $200 on a voice modulator app, another $50 on a virtual background showing a sleek office that didn't exist. Russell, one of my actor friends, sat beside me, feeding me lines through a secondary chat window. Derek appeared on screen in his best shirt, hair combed, trying to radiate confidence. Failing. Derek. I kept my voice steady, modulated. Walk me through Novus Tech Solutions. He launched into his pitch, stammered through the technical details, caught himself, tried again. The desperation showed in every word choice, every rushed breath. The investment structure needs careful blocking of, the phrase slipped out, theater vocabulary, director vocabulary, my vocabulary. Derek's face shifted. Blocking? My screen froze. I'd hit pause on the virtual background deliberately. Connection issues, business school. Professor Hendricks always said, blocking the scene means strategizing the... Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense. But his eyes had narrowed, just for a second, just long enough. After the call, I sat motionless for 10 minutes, stared at the blank screen. The marionettes watched from their shelves. Sloppy, I whispered to the king in purple robes. Can't get comfortable. He's desperate, not stupid. I spent the next hour creating an elaborate backstory document. Professor Harold Hendricks, Stanford Business School, 1983-2004, deceased 2007. Published papers on strategic planning, used theatrical metaphors in his teaching. If Derek researched it, he'd find breadcrumbs. Not much, but enough. Never made that mistake again. Between December the 29th and 30th, Derek and Rosa both pursued their separate opportunities. He updated his LinkedIn profile 6 times, adding buzzwords. Synergy appeared 4 times in one paragraph. I read it aloud to the empty room, laughing. He's turned himself into a corporate mad lib. Rosa posted a throwback painting with the caption, "Throwback to my artistic days." Curator, Art Life, blessed. Got 43 likes. I watched her check her phone every 5 minutes through the rest of the day, hungry for validation. She's hashtagging her way to my trap, I told the marionettes. Shakespeare would have loved social media. December 31st, 10:03 a.m. My tracking software picked up Derek and Rosa's voices, fighting in their kitchen. I'd activated his laptop microphone days ago, another gift from the disclosure form. I need $25,000. Rosa's voice tight. What? For what? A job. A real job. Gallery curator. Derek laughed, bitter and sharp. A job that costs 25 grand? It's a deposit. And what about you? I saw the LinkedIn messages. Who's Lucas Montgomery? Silence. Then, that's business. Investment opportunity. How much? 25,000. For my part? Something shattered. Coffee mug hitting tile. Oh my, we don't have $50,000. The house. We can borrow against. We're already drowning. This is our way out. Both of us. Can't you see? Their neighbor pounded on the wall. The voices dropped to furious whispers. They signed the home equity loan papers at 4:47 p.m. Columbia Bank in Lloyd District. I knew because Derek's calendar synced to his laptop. $50,000 borrowed against a house already mortgaged for $580. The loan officer probably wished them Happy New Year. They probably smiled back with their dead eyes. New Year's Eve, 11:47 p.m. I sat on my back porch despite the cold, watching fireworks over Portland. My phone showed Derek and Rosa's joint Instagram story. Champagne glasses, caption, "New Year, new opportunities. 2025 is our year." Rosa's smile looked like something carved from wax. Derek's eyes focused somewhere past the camera. My phone buzzed. Email notification from Columbia Bank. Subject, Garrett L. Fraud alert. My breath stopped. I opened it. Dear Mr. Garrett, we've detected unusual activity on your account. Someone attempted to verify your assets using a falsified document claim. Please confirm, did you authorize financial disclosure to Montgomery Capital Partners? Derek had tried to verify Lucas Montgomery's legitimacy by checking if Lucas had checked my finances. The paranoid brilliance of it made my hands shake. First time in weeks. We've blocked the inquiry and flagged the requesting party. I typed fast. Thank you. Unauthorized. Please maintain block. Deleted the email from my main inbox. Forwarded it to an encrypted folder. Looked up at the fireworks exploding over the city. He's not just desperate, I whispered. He's hunting. Midnight struck. Champagne corks popped across the neighborhood. I went inside, opened my Act 3 planning document. Added a note. Accelerate timeline. Derek is dangerous when cornered. Started typing. Faster now. Derek arrived at Le Pigeon 8 minutes early, tugging his suit jacket every 10 steps. The restaurant gleamed with that particular Portland upscale aesthetic. Exposed brick, Edison bulbs, Prix Fix menus starting at $150 per person. I sat 3 booths away, baseball cap low, newspaper raised, watching him scan the room like prey checking for predators. Russell Hayes stood from the corner table, hand extended, 67 years old, silver hair, custom suit I'd rented from a costume shop. Behind him, Claudia Chen and Marcus Freeman, both former theater company members, both dressed like they'd stepped out of a financial magazine. Derek! Russell's voice carried authority I'd taught him in workshops. Pleasure to meet in person. Derek's palm left a damp print on the table when he set down his briefcase. Russell ordered wine in French, dismissed the sommelier with a wave that suggested he'd done this 1,000 times. Launched into a story about closing a deal in Singapore. Claudia nodded, adding details about their Dubai partners. Derek shrank slightly in his chair, his practiced confidence leaking away. Derek, tell us why Novus Tech Solutions deserves $500,000. Russell leaned back, fingers steepled. Well, we've developed a proprietary... Claudia cut in. Proprietary. Everyone's proprietary. What's your burn rate? Derek blinked. Currently, it's approximately... You don't know your burn rate? Marcus this time, eyebrows raised. I know it. I just... 73,000 monthly? And revenue? Derek's pause stretched too long. Projections show. Projections, I asked revenue. Currently, minimal. We're pre-revenue. Russell leaned back. Pre-revenue. 73,000 monthly burn. You're not seeking investment, Derek. You're seeking life support. From my booth, I watched Derek's face collapse, then rebuild itself. But the technology... His voice cracked, then steadied. The technology changes how small businesses manage inventory. Real-time, predictive, scalable. We've got beta users. We've got testimonials. We've got... He pulled it out, got passionate. The desperate man found his footing talking about the one thing he believed in. I'd scripted Russell to look impressed here, but the expression on Russell's face seemed genuine. Gentlemen, lady... Russell glanced at the others. They nodded. Derek, you've got potential. But we need commitment. 25,000. Today, can you do that? Yes, I can. Derek's hand trembled, writing the check. The ink smudged slightly where his palm dragged across the signature. The bill arrived on a small leather tray. $3,247. Wine from a vineyard I couldn't pronounce. Courses I couldn't identify. Dessert that looked like abstract art. In our world, Derek, the one seeking investment demonstrates commitment. Old tradition. Russell pushed the bill toward Derek with one finger. Derek's forced smile looked painful. Absolutely. Makes sense. His credit card hit the tray a bit too hard. The waiter returned. Leaned in discreetly. Sir, this card... Oh, try it again. Sometimes the chip... Derek's voice came out too loud, overcompensating. From my booth, I hid my smile behind the newspaper. $3,000 for lunch. I once fed my entire theater company for a month on that. Different worlds. The waiter returned. It went through, sir. Derek exhaled like he'd been holding his breath underwater. There we go. Technology, right? January 5th. Rosa received a wire transfer. $5,000 from Morrison Gallery. Actually, my account through a dummy LLC I'd set up in November. I watched her Instagram story, her in the kitchen, screaming silently at her phone, then calling 3 friends in rapid succession. She posted 7 times that day. 7. Blessed. Grateful. Dreams coming true. Investing in myself. Each caption made me think about the irony. She was literally spending my money to celebrate getting my money. She posted throwback photos, art supplies, canvases from 2019, her in a paint-smeared apron, younger, hopeful. The caption, finding my way back. Then another post, a photo from 1998. Her at 12, backstage at my theater, paint on her hands. Me beside her, both of us smiling. Caption, complicated relationships. Us family. It's complicated. I stared at that photo for 20 minutes. January 7th, I sat at my workbench carving a marionette's face. The knife slipped, cut deep into my thumb. Blood dripped onto the workbench, onto the puppet's wooden cheek. I didn't move to stop it. Just watched it pool. The memory hit without warning. 5 years ago. Derek in my kitchen, notebook open, asking how to lead people who don't respect you yet. Me making tea, talking for 2 hours about earning respect through integrity. His face serious, taking notes like I was teaching scripture. You don't demand respect, Derek. You earn it. Through consistency, through integrity, through showing up even when it's hard. Did your actors trust you? The good ones did, the ones I didn't let down. Have you ever let someone down? I'd pause then. Yes, and I think about it every day. Derek had looked at me with something like admiration, called me mentor when he left that night. I blinked. The memory dissolved. My thumb still bled. I wrapped it in a paper towel, went back to carving. The marionette's face looked serene, unbothered. I envied it. January 8th, another memory ambushed me. Rosa at 12 finding me backstage after Fragments closed early. Critics had eviscerated it. Half the audience left at intermission. I'd been crying in my office when her small hand touched mine. Daddy? Why are you crying? Oh, sweetheart, the show. It wasn't what people wanted. I thought it was beautiful. You're my daughter. You have to say that. Her voice had gone fierce. No, I don't. When your Hamlet made me fall asleep last year, I told you. I'd laughed through tears. You did. You absolutely did. This one made me feel. In my chest. Like something breaking and fixing at the same time. That's what art is, right? I'd hugged her. Her belief had saved me that night. Now she was hashtagging blessed, while I destroyed her life. January 9th, Vera appeared at my door with groceries. Let herself in with the key I'd given her decades ago. Found me at the workbench, hands unsteady, blood seeping through the paper towel. "Lem, you're bleeding on the marionette." I looked at my thumb. "Oh." She grabbed the first aid kit, wrapped it properly. "When was the last time you ate?" "This morning." "Lem." "Yesterday morning, I'm fine." "You're not." She sat across from me, hands on the table. "And I'm worried," I snapped. "Don't be. I know what I'm doing." "Do you?" Her voice went quiet. "Because from where I'm sitting, you look like a man who's forgotten why he started." I didn't answer. Couldn't. January 11th. My monitoring software picked up Derek's email. His startup's investors had pulled out. Completely. Novus Tech Solutions was done. This wasn't my doing. This was real. This was Derek's actual life collapsing. I watched through his webcam as he sat in his dark office at 11:43 p.m., reading the withdrawal letters, crying silently so Rosa wouldn't hear through the walls. He opened a new email, typed, "Dad, I failed. Everything you said I'd become. I'm becoming it. What do I do?" He stared at it for 3 minutes, deleted it, opened his laptop, pulled up the Lucas Montgomery email chain, whispered to the empty room, "Please be real. Please be real." I closed the monitor, sat in my own darkness, remembering the night my theater nearly closed. The same desperate prayer, the same terror. I understood Derek in that moment. Understanding didn't stop me, but it hurt. Rosa posted that same evening. Family photo, forced smiles. Derek's eyes hollow. Caption, "Strong foundation for 2025. They were both lying. To the world, to each other, to themselves. January 12th, 7:15 p.m. My phone rang. International number. "Gideon, Egypt," showed on the screen. I hesitated. 5 full rings before answering. "Dad, we need to talk." "How's Egypt?" "Don't." Sarah called me. She heard from Rosa's friend Jen about the gallery thing, about Derek's investor. "I don't know what—" "Dad, stop. I know what you're doing." His voice stayed firm. "Are they real? The gallery? The investor?" Silence. "Dad, are they real?" "No." Long exhale. "Dad, this is too far. You weren't there. You didn't see—" "I know what they did. Rosa told me about Christmas, and it was awful. But this? You're not teaching them a lesson. You're destroying them. They destroyed themselves. You're destroying yourself." The words hung between us, separated by continents and consequences. My thumb throbbed where I'd cut it. The marionettes watched from their shelves, silent witnesses. "What do you want me to do, Gideon? Forgive them? Forget?" "I want you to stop, before you can't. It's already too far to stop. It's never too far. Dad, listen to me. I have to go." "Dad, I love you. I'm sorry." I hung up. The phone rang immediately. I powered it off. Opened my laptop, Derek's Instagram, family photo, forced smiles, Rosa's Instagram, new outfit selfie, investing in myself. Both of them performing happiness for strangers while drowning in private. I started drafting the next email from Lucas Montgomery. "Derek, time to meet the full partnership team. Big presentation needed. Bring your A game and another $25K to demonstrate commitment. Feb 5, 7 p.m. I'll send location." My fingers paused on the keyboard. Vera's words echoed. "You look like a man who's forgotten why he started." Had I? I closed my eyes. Saw 12-year-old Rosa's paint-stained hands. Heard Derek calling me mentor. Saw them both at that Christmas table, sending me away like garbage. Opened my eyes. Added one more sentence. "This is where real money meets real vision. Don't disappoint me." Clicked send. The king marionette in purple robes swayed on his shelf. Seemed less amused now, more judgmental. I raised my bourbon glass to him. Either this, or they never learn, right? The marionette didn't answer. My phone sat on the table, dark and silent. Gideon's last text waited inside, unread. "Dad, please, before someone gets hurt, please." I drank the bourbon anyway. 3 monitors glowed in my office at 2:17 p.m. on January 15th. Derek's email on the left screen, Rosa's Instagram DMs in the center, LinkedIn on the right. My coffee had gone cold an hour ago. I was directing from the shadows again, pulling strings, making them dance. Time to make them turn on each other. I typed the email to Derek carefully. Derek, my financial analyst flagged something concerning. Your wife received significant payment, $5,000, from Morrison Gallery last week. You indicated your household assets were fully disclosed. Were you aware of her independent income stream? More importantly, are there other financial arrangements you haven't mentioned? In my business, transparency isn't optional. It's survival. We need to talk. LM. My finger hovered over send. Brief hesitation, then clicked. 6 minutes later, Derek's phone location showed him at his kid's school. Pickup time. I watched the read receipt appear, watched it sit there for 43 seconds. Then his car's location lurched. He'd slammed the brakes. Nearly rear-ended someone, judging by how abruptly he stopped moving. At 6:45 p.m., Vera called Rosa as Beatrice Winslow. I listened on the other line, muted. Rosalind, it's Beatrice. Darling, I'm in an awkward position. Vera's voice carried that perfect blend of concern and gossip. One of our board members mentioned seeing Derek at the Ace of Clubs poker room downtown 3 times last week. Now, what you do privately is your business, but the gallery has a reputation. We need stability, reliability. Can you assure me there are no financial instabilities? Rosa's voice came back tight, controlled. I'll call you back. She didn't call Beatrice back. She called Derek. I listened through Derek's laptop microphone, that gift from his financial disclosure form that kept on giving. You got $5,000 from a gallery? Derek's voice, sharp, accusatory. Who told you that? Answer the question. It's my job, my income. Since when do I need your permission? Since we're $50,000 in debt. Since you didn't tell me. Oh, that's rich coming from... From what? Nothing. We'll talk when you get home. They talked. January 16th, 9:30 p.m. Voices rising until I could hear them through Derek's closed laptop. Cabinet doors slamming. Derek pacing. I could track his movement through the floorboard creaks. Gambling? You're gambling our money? I'm not. I've never been to a poker club. Someone saw you. Who? Give me a name. I don't have to. Because they're lying, and you're hiding money. It's not hiding, it's my money from my job. What job? Some gallery you won't tell me about. What investment? Some investor you won't explain. The silence stretched, both realizing they'd revealed too much. I leaned toward my speaker, barely breathing. What are you talking about? Derek's voice, careful now. What are you talking about? I smiled. Poured bourbon. Didn't drink it yet. Just watched the chaos unfold. January 17th, Orville and Goldie arrived. I knew because Mrs. Chen texted, Fancy car at your daughter's house again. Shouting, want updates? I typed back, always. Through Derek's laptop audio, Goldie's voice cut sharp. So you're the reason our son looks like death? Excuse me, Rosa, dangerous and quiet. We gave up our retirement to help you two buy this house. And you're spending money on spa days and designer clothes while your son is lying to you about everything. Rosa, don't. Derek, panicked. He's in debt. His company's failing. He's gambling. I'm not gambling. Everyone calm down, Orville trying. This is what happens when you marry for money instead of love. Goldie, vicious. Rosa's response came cold, final. Get out of my house. By January 18th, Derek had moved out. Mrs. Chen sent play-by-play updates. He's loading boxes. She's throwing his golf clubs in the pool. The ugly lamp is going with him. She can have it, I responded. Tell me when she throws the lamp in, too. Rosa's Instagram told its own story. Cryptic posts. Trust no one betrayed. A photo of her wedding ring on the counter. No caption. 3 sad face emojis. I was hashtagging her way to my trap. In my theater days, we called this dramatic irony. The audience knows what the characters don't. Then January 19th shattered everything. I was eating a sandwich, first food all day, when my LinkedIn notification pinged. A post from Lucas Montgomery. The real Lucas Montgomery. Fraud alert. Someone is impersonating me, using my name, photos, fake company credentials for investment scams. Legal action pending. If contacted by Lucas Montgomery of Montgomery Capital Partners, report immediately. He'd tagged the fake profile, my fake profile. The sandwich hit the plate. My coffee mug followed. slipped from my hand, shattered on hardwood, brown liquid spreading like blood. Derek would see this. Derek was connected to the fake profile. Derek would... My burner phone rang, the one only Lucas Montgomery used. I answered, kept my voice steady. Derek, everything all right? I saw an interesting post on LinkedIn today, from Lucas Montgomery, the real Lucas Montgomery. My heart hammered against my ribs. I don't. He says someone's impersonating him, using his name for fraud. Funny coincidence, right? Derek, there are many Lucas Montgomerys, common name, with the same company, same photo, same resume. His voice had gone cold, analytical. This wasn't desperate Derek. This was someone thinking clearly. I pivoted fast. Are you accusing me of something? I'm asking for clarification. And I'm asking if you want to walk away from $500,000 over paranoia. Your choice. Long pause. I heard his breathing, heard him calculating. No, I don't. Then trust the process. I'll explain everything at our next meeting. Feb 5. Don't disappoint me, Derek. I hung up. My hands shook. First real panic since Christmas. For 2 hours I sat frozen. Then desperation sparked action. I researched the real Lucas Montgomery, actually read about him this time instead of just stealing his identity. 48 years old, Seattle-based, investment manager at Cascade Financial, and buried in his personal blog from 2003. Attended experimental theater in Portland this weekend. Fragments by Lemuel Garrett. Critics hated it. I thought it was avant-garde genius. He'd seen my work. He'd loved it. At 9:17 a.m. on January 20th, I sent an email from my real account. Mr. Montgomery, you don't know me, but you know my work. I'm Lemuel Garrett, theater director. You wrote about Fragments in 2003. I've done something unethical. I borrowed your identity for a personal project. Before you involve lawyers, give me 30 minutes to explain. This is theater, not fraud, and you might find it entertaining. Coffee? 5 p.m. today? I'll buy. Lemuel Garrett. I hit send, then stared at the screen for 6 hours, waiting. At 2:47 p.m., he responded, Starbucks, Pearl District, 5 p.m. You've got 30 minutes. After that, I'm calling my lawyer. LM. I arrived 15 minutes early, sat in the corner booth, hands wrapped around a coffee cup for warmth. For courage. Lucas Montgomery walked in at exactly 5 p.m. Expensive suit, $2,000 at least. Distinguished gray at the temples, amused smile playing at his lips. He sat across from me without ordering anything. Lemuel Garrett, in the flesh. I should be furious. You should. I'm prepared for that. Instead, I'm curious. You stole my identity to do... what exactly? Teach my daughter and her husband a lesson about greed. He leaned back. Go on. I told him everything. Christmas dinner, the toilet suggestion, the torn check, the fake personas, the manipulation, the marionettes. All of it. He laughed. Actually laughed. Fragments. That's what this is? A real-life fragment of revenge theater. How much have they lost? $50,000 so far. Their home equity loan. Ouch! He winced, but the amusement stayed. And you need me because... Derek's suspicious. He saw your fraud alert. I need the real Lucas Montgomery to appear, validate his investment, make him feel safe. Then at the right moment, you pull out. Reveal it was all performance art. Why would I do this? $100,000. And front row seats to the best show in Portland. He was quiet, fingers steepled, studying me. I saw Fragments in Seattle, 1998. Critics destroyed you. I loved it. Called it genius in my blog. I remember reading that. Only positive review I got. Make it 150. And I want creative input on my character's final speech. I extended my hand. Deal. He shook it, firm and conspiratorial. When's curtain call? February 15th. Charity auction. Public stage. Poetic. I'm in. I drove home lighter than I'd felt in weeks. Lucas Montgomery, the real one, was joining my production. Derek and Rosa were separated, each blaming the other, neither investigating me. Everything was proceeding better than planned. At 8:47 p.m., I poured bourbon, reviewed the day. The marionettes watched from their shelves. The king in purple robes seemed to lean forward, approving. My laptop pinged. Email from Lucas. Had a thought. Want Derek completely committed? Have him invest the full $500K. I'll cover it temporarily, then we reveal the truth. He'll be devastated, but not actually bankrupt. Cleaner ending. What do you say? I stared at the screen. $500,000. That was ruinous territory. That was... Derek's face at 3 a.m. flashed through my mind. Please be real. Rosa, alone in that diner, wondering where her life went wrong. Their kids asking where Daddy is. My finger hovered. The marionettes watched. I took a long drink, started typing. Let's discuss parameters. There are children involved, but I'm listening. Hit send. Immediately regretted it. Couldn't unsend it. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Hello? The voice came through distorted, mechanically altered. Lemuel Garrett? Who is this? Someone who knows what you're doing, and you need to stop. Now. My blood went cold. I don't know what. The fake investor, the fake gallery, the marionettes, all of it. Stop, or everyone finds out. Your son, your friends, the police. The line went dead. I stared at the phone. Someone knew. Someone had been watching. Who? How? I checked the computer security, no breaches. Checked burner phones, secure. Checked home security footage, nothing unusual. Then how did they know? The marionettes offered no answers. Just hung there, judging me with painted eyes. Derek sat on the edge of the guest bed at 6:52 a.m., staring at his phone. The email subject line glowed. Novus Tech Solutions, final notice to employees. He opened it, read it 3 times. His startup was dead. Officially completely dead. Effective immediately, Novus Tech Solutions is ceasing operations. Our final investor withdrew funding yesterday. Payroll for January will not be processed. Benefits terminate today. We are filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. No severance is available. He'd signed it himself at 3 a.m., too numb to feel anything. Now, in daylight, it hit different. Unemployed, $50,000 in debt. Separated. Facing demands for another $25,000 from an investor who might be fake. He sat there for an hour, didn't tell anyone. Too ashamed. By January 23rd, Orville found him passed out on the couch at 2 p.m., empty bourbon bottle on the floor. Shook him awake, scared. Derek, wake up. Derek's eyes opened, unfocused. Leave me alone. When did you last eat? No answer. I'm calling someone, a doctor, or... Don't. Derek sat up, head in hands. I'm fine. You're not fine. Talk to me. There's nothing to say. It's all gone. On January 24th, Rosa called. Not about them. About logistics, kids, bills, the house. I need you to sign the parenting plan draft. Can we talk about this? Derek's voice desperate. No, there's nothing to talk about. My lawyer... Your lawyer? Rosa, please. Please what? Please pretend you didn't lie? Please ignore... I didn't gamble anything. Then where did the $50,000 go? I invested it. In our future. And someone's lying to me about an investment. Funny how everyone's lying except you. Derek's voice broke. Rosa, I lost my job. Pause. What? The company. It's done. I'm unemployed. Long silence. Then we have nothing left to talk about. Sign the papers. She hung up. Derek stared at his phone for 20 minutes, then started planning. January 25th, he stood in his parents' bathroom, practicing in the mirror, forcing tears, checking if they looked real enough. Lem, I'm so sorry. I was cruel. I was a monster. The tears wouldn't come naturally. He thought about his mother's death. Nothing. Thought about losing everything. There they were. Genuine despair mixed with calculation. Better. And then, I don't deserve forgiveness. But if there's any way... No, too direct. Let him offer. He rehearsed for 2 hours. January the 26th, 2:30 p.m. I was checking security footage obsessively, trying to identify my anonymous messenger when the doorbell rang. Derek stood on my porch, unshaven, eyes red, coat hanging off him like he'd lost weight. I watched through the camera, debated not answering, then opened the door. Derek. Lem, I know I shouldn't. I just need 5 minutes. Please. I stepped aside. Let him in. The marionettes watched from their shelves as we sat in my living room. I've been thinking about Christmas. Every day. Every hour. I waited. Silent. Director watching an audition. What we did, was unforgivable. I was drunk and cruel, and I took out all my stress on the one person who never deserved it. Why are you here, Derek? To apologize. Really apologize. Not because I want something, just because you need to hear it. The tears started. Real ones. Genuine desperation bleeding through the performance. I'd taught actors for 40 years. I knew the difference between truth and technique. This was both. I've lost everything. My company folded. Rosa wants a divorce. My kids barely look at me, and I deserve all of it. But you didn't deserve what I did. My defenses lowered. This was the Derek I remembered, the earnest young man asking about integrity. Let me finish, please. I was the guy who looked up to you. 5 years ago, remember? You taught me about integrity, about leading with honesty, and I became everything you warned against. Derek, I don't know how to fix it, any of it. I'm drowning, and I pulled everyone down with me. Something softened in my chest. I'm sorry your company failed. That's genuinely hard. He wiped his eyes. Thank you. That means more than you know. Pause. He was gauging me. I saw it. The micro-calculation. The shift from grief to hope. Here it came. I know I don't deserve to ask, and I'm not, really. I'm just saying, if there was any way you could help us, Rosa and the kids, mainly, just enough to get stable again, I'd leave. I'd go. You'd never have to see me. The compassion drained from my face. I felt it go, replaced by cold clarity. How much? His hesitation told me everything. Maybe 200,000 to cover the debts? 200,000. That's the price of your disappearance. It's not like that. I stood. Get out. Lem, please. I walked to the door, opened it. You're not sorry about Christmas. You're sorry you ripped up $5 million. That's not true. Every word of that speech was true except the last part. You are drowning. You did lose everything, and all you can think about is how to get my money. I need help. No, you need consequences. Get out of my house. He stood, anger replacing desperation. You're a bitter old man. You always were. Rosa was right about you. And yet here you are, begging the bitter old man for money. Ironic. He left, slammed the door. His car peeled away from the curb. I leaned against the closed door, slid down to sit on the floor. The marionettes watched. I was exhausted. Exhausted from rage, from manipulation, from being right about him. January 27th, I called Lucas. Confirmed the February 5th meeting. Higher stakes now. Derek had proven he hadn't learned anything. January 28th, 9:14 p.m. I was carving a marionette's face when my phone buzzed. Unknown number, text message. I warned you. You didn't listen. February 15th, the charity auction, I'll be there. Everyone will know what you've done. The fake investors, the fake gallery, the manipulation, all of it. Last chance, Lemuel. Stop now, or I ruin you the way you're ruining them. My hands shook. The bourbon glass slipped, but I caught it, liquid sloshing over the rim. I called Vera immediately. Someone knows everything. What? Who? I don't know. They know about February 15th. They know about the auction. Only a few people know that. Me, you, Lucas. Could Russell or Claudius or Marcus have told someone? They're actors, not saints, but they're loyal. Lem, could it be Gideon? Pause. He wouldn't threaten me. Wouldn't he? If he thought you'd gone too far. No, he'd call. This is someone else. Derek's father? Orville? Maybe. He's a detective. What do you do? Long silence? I don't know. After we hung up, I opened my laptop, made a list of everyone who knows everything. Me, Vera, Lucas, knows partial. Russell, Claudia, Marcus, Gideon might have figured out. Orville, Mrs. Chen. The anonymous person knew details only the top category would have, which meant betrayal, or hacking, or surveillance. I checked security cameras, nothing. Computer, clean. Phone, wait, settings, share my location, on. Sharing with Rosalind Riley. 3 years since she helped me set up my iPhone. I never turned it off. She could see everywhere I went, every meeting, everything. I opened Rosa's Instagram from my monitoring account, scrolled to January 27th. Late night post, her wedding album. Caption, sometimes people aren't who you think they are. Sometimes they're worse. Sometimes they're playing games you didn't know existed. Trust noon, Youts enlightened. Photo metadata, 11:47 p.m. The threatening text came at 11:54 p.m., 7 minutes after she posted. My phone buzzed. New text. Same unknown number. Rosa says hi. So does Derek. We're meeting right now, Lemuel. All three of us. Comparing notes. You wanted to destroy their marriage? Congratulations. You succeeded. They're united now. Against you. And we know everything. See you, February 15th. Orville Riley. I stared at the phone. Derek's detective father. Of course. Orville figured it out. Told them. Brought them together. My revenge plan just created an alliance against me. My phone rang. Gideon. Egypt. Dad, I'm flying home. Tomorrow. Don't do anything until I get there. Promise me. I looked at the threatening text, at the marionettes, at everything unraveling. I promise. But I was already opening my email to Lucas. Change of plans. We accelerate everything. February 5th meeting is now the finale. Bring your A game. Things just got interesting. The marionettes watched me type. The king in purple robes seemed less amused now, more like he was warning me. I hit send anyway. The coffee shop smelled like burnt espresso and anxiety. I sat in the corner booth at 10:47 a.m., sunglasses on even though I was indoors, coffee untouched, phone face down like it might explode. Every person who pushed through the door made my shoulders tense. Orville Riley walked in at 10:58. Gray hair, fit for 65, cop posture even in retirement. He sat across from me without asking permission. Relax, I'm not here to stop you. My hand froze halfway to my coffee. What? I'm the one who sent those messages. The threats. I figured out what you're doing. He leaned back, completely calm. And I want to help. The coffee shop noise faded. My brain couldn't process the words. You want to help me destroy your son? I want to help you teach him consequences. There's a difference. He pulled out his phone, opened a folder, slid it across the table. Start with this. Bank statements, credit card bills, email chains. All Derek's, all damning. How did you... I'm a detective, Lem. Was... Old habits. He scrolled through documents. $78,000 in secret credit card debt. Loans from 6 different sources, all under false pretenses. And this... He opened an audio file. Derek's voice. Once the old man dies, we're looking at $5 million minimum. You'll get your money, Orville. Promise. When was this? October 2024. 2 months before your Christmas dinner. His jaw tightened. They've been planning your death benefit for years. You were never family. You were a retirement account. I closed my eyes. Opened them. The documents were still there. Why would you help me? Because they've stolen from me 17 times. Made up emergencies, fake bills, elaborate stories. $73,000 gone. And when I asked for repayment, Derek said... He played another clip. Derek, casual, confident. Once Dad passes and we inherit, we'll pay you back with interest. My throat went tight. They were that sure. They bought a VIP table at the Portland Art Museum charity auction last June, before your company even sold, planning to announce the Garrett Family Foundation using your inheritance. He smiled without humor. They were already spending your money in their heads. I stared at him. Former detective, Derek's father, sitting across from me offering ammunition. What do you want? To see them face consequences. To stop pretending my son is someone he's not. And maybe... His voice softened slightly. Maybe to break the cycle before another generation learns these values. We spent the next hour in his car, parked outside Derek's parents' condo. Orville showed me everything. Secret accounts, fabricated documents, patterns of lies stretching back years. Through the window we watched Derek arguing with Goldie, his gestures wild, desperate. He's falling apart, Orville said, recording on his phone. Good. You sure about that? I wasn't sure about anything anymore. But I didn't say it. January 30th, we met at my house. Planned the finale. February 15th, Portland Art Museum. The charity auction where Derek and Rosa had reserved their VIP table. Public revelation, I explained. Video evidence. Audio recordings. The actors revealing themselves. Real Lucas Montgomery explaining the identity theft attempt. Complete social destruction. Orville whistled low. Public execution. They wanted a stage. I'm giving them one. What do you need from me? Information, pressure points, and credibility. If their own family exposes them, it's justice. He extended his hand. We shook. February 1st, I was following Rosa's location on my phone. Board surveillance, eating takeout Chinese in my car. She'd been inside the women's health clinic for 90 minutes. When she emerged, her face stopped me, mid-bite. Crying, but also smiling. Conflicted emotion I couldn't parse. She sat in her car, pulled out a document, started reading. I grabbed my camera, old telephoto lens from theater productions, zoomed in through her windshield, prenatal care instructions. 10 weeks pregnant, visible in the header. The container of lo mein slipped from my hand. Noodles spilled across my car floor. I didn't notice. My grandchild. I sat there for 2 hours after she drove away. Engine off, staring at the photo on my camera screen. Zooming in. Out. In again. Everything changed. That night I called Vera. She's pregnant. What? Rosa. 10 weeks. I saw the documents. Long pause. Lem, I know what you're going to say. Do you? Because I'm going to say stop. Right now. They'll weaponize it, Vera. The moment they know I know. It's a child, Lem. Your grandchild. Exactly. My grandchild. Who will grow up with those two as parents, learning their values. So you'll destroy their lives while she's pregnant? My voice cracked. I don't know. I don't know anymore. February 2nd, back in Orville's car. Surveillance. He watched me checking my phone every 30 seconds. You having second thoughts? Why do you ask? You've been quiet for 20 minutes. Personal issue. Rosa's pregnant. Not a question. I turned sharply. How did you? I'm a detective, Lem. I saw her car at the clinic. 2 + 2. Does Derek know? Not yet. She's waiting for the right moment. Probably planning to use it as leverage. That's what I thought. So? Does it change anything? Shouldn't it? He was quiet. Then, that baby deserves better parents than what Derek and Rosa are right now. Maybe hitting rock bottom is the best thing. Or maybe I'm just justifying cruelty. Maybe. But they started this at Christmas dinner, with cruelty. You're just finishing it with theater. I drove home, poured bourbon, didn't drink it, stared at the photo of prenatal instructions on my phone. My grandchild. Due August 12th. My late wife's birthday month. She would have been furious with me. Would have told me to forgive everyone, start fresh, be the grandfather this baby deserves. I deleted the photo, then immediately restored it from recently deleted. Couldn't decide, couldn't choose. February 2nd, 11:34 p.m. My phone lit up with messages. Gideon. Dad, I land tomorrow morning. Pick me up? We need to talk about stopping this. Then Rosa, different number. Daddy, it's Rosa. I need to talk to you. Tomorrow. It's important. Please. She never calls me Daddy anymore, not since she was 12. She knows about the pregnancy, and she's preparing her move. Orville. Derek just booked 2 tickets to the February 15th auction. Stay sharp. Real, Lucas. Rehearsing my big reveal speech. This is going to be legendary. I sat surrounded by messages. My son begging me to stop. My daughter preparing to manipulate. My ally pushing forward. My accomplice excited for the show. I opened the photo of Rosa's prenatal document one more time. Stared at the due date. My late wife's voice in my head. Family matters most. The marionettes watched from their shelves. Offered no answers. My laptop pinged. New email. Sarah Mitchell, Gideon's wife. Mr. Garrett, I'm a family therapist. What you're doing will destroy everyone, including yourself. The pregnancy changes everything. If you proceed on February 15th, you'll lose any chance of being in your grandchild's life. They'll get a restraining order. Is revenge worth that? You still have time. Sarah. I closed the laptop, opened it, closed it again. Time. Did I still have time? February 15th was 13 days away. Everything set. Everyone committed. But Rosa texting, Daddy. That wasn't manipulation. That was muscle memory from childhood. Some part of her still saw me as father. Didn't it? I didn't know. Didn't know anything except the show was scheduled, the tickets sold, and somewhere inside my daughter, my grandchild, was growing, innocent, and would inherit every consequence. Curtain up in 13 days, whether I was ready or not. Gideon stepped off the plane at 6:14 a.m., looking older than 44, tanned from Egypt, but exhausted. We hugged briefly. My hand patted his back mechanically. His hand gripped tight, held on too long. A silent plea I pretended not to understand. The drive home stretched in silence. 15 minutes. He turned off the radio when I turned it on. At my house, he spread photos across my kitchen table. Screenshots of Rosa's private Instagram posts, ultrasound images, captions about hope and fear. She's 3 months along, high risk. And you're planning to humiliate her publicly? She humiliated me. At a private dinner, you're planning a public execution. His voice rose. Hundreds of people, it's not the same. She suggested I eat on a toilet. And that was horrible. But Dad, she's your daughter, carrying your grandchild. At what point does revenge stop being justice? When they learn their lesson? And what lesson is that? That family destroys each other? He stood. That's what you want your grandchild to learn? My voice climbed to match his. Their mother ruined her own life. Then let her live with natural consequences. You don't have to engineer her destruction. I've come too far to stop. No, you're too afraid to stop. He leaned forward. Afraid that if you stop, you'll have to actually feel what they did. The pain. The betrayal. Right now, revenge keeps you busy. Keeps you from grieving. But Dad, you have to grieve. My throat worked. No words came. I'm calling Sarah's colleague, Dr. Kwan, family therapist. You're seeing her today. I don't need... Yes, you do. Either that, or I call Rosa right now and tell her everything. You wouldn't. Try me. At 2:15 p.m., I sat in Dr. Patricia Kwan's office. Ramrod straight, answering in clipped sentences. She waited patiently. The silence stretched until I couldn't stand it. Tell me about Rosa. Not what she did at Christmas. Who she was before. My eyes welled before I could stop them. She was light. Pure light. She'd paint sets at my theater, get covered head to toe, laugh at herself. When critics destroyed my work, when audiences walked out, she'd say, Daddy, I felt it. That's what matters. And now? Now she's a stranger. Cold. She looked at me like I was nothing. Like I didn't matter except as money. That must have been devastating. The tears fell. I gave her everything. My time, my love, my support. Even when we struggled, I made sure she had what she needed. And she... My voice broke. She suggested I eat on a toilet. Do you know what that does to a parent? It sounds like you're grieving. Grieving? The death of the daughter you knew. The girl with paint on her hands. She's gone, isn't she? I sobbed. Actually sobbed. Yes, she's gone. And I don't know how to get her back. Lemuel, you can't. That little girl grew up, made choices, some terrible. But you can't punish her back to 12 years old. Then what do I do? You grieve her, the girl you lost, and you decide if you want a relationship with the woman she became, flawed, complicated, capable of cruelty, or if you want revenge more. Can I have both? No. That's the choice. Family or revenge, not both. Silence pressed down. I don't know if I can forgive her. That's okay. Forgiveness isn't required. But destruction? That's a choice. A permanent one. Make sure it's worth it. I left her office hollow. Drove home in a daze. Gideon was waiting. Well? I couldn't answer. Just walked to my workshop. Sat with the marionettes. February 5th. The meeting with Lucas Montgomery. The real one now, playing the role. I watched from Orville's car outside the Heathman restaurant. Derek desperate. Notes spread everywhere. Hands shaking. Lucas in full performance. I don't want 25 anymore. I want the full commitment. 500,000 by February 14th. That's 9 days. Can you deliver? Derek's face crumpled. I'd need to liquidate everything. Then do it, or I walk. From the car, Orville whispered. He's broken. Good. You sure about this? I paused too long. No, but we're doing it anyway. February 7th. Derek told Rosa about the investment demand. She revealed she'd lost the gallery position. First honest conversation in months. What if they're connected? Derek's voice through Rosa's phone, which I was still monitoring. The gallery and the investor. What if someone's playing us? Who would do that? Your father. Long silence. Then Rosa. Soft. Oh my God. February 8th evening. They met in person, comparing notes. Rosa suddenly ran to the bathroom. Came back pale. I'm pregnant. Through the audio feed, I heard Derek's shock. Heard them process it. Then, if someone's targeting us, this is our shield. We go public with this. At the auction, before he can do whatever he's planning. My hands clenched, exactly as I'd feared. February 13th, they confronted Orville at his condo. I listened to the forwarded audio. You're helping him destroy your own son? Helping him teach consequences. Orville's voice, firm. I'm pregnant. Your grandchild? Pause. Congratulations, that's wonderful. And you're helping someone destroy their mother? Maybe having a child will teach you values you should have had. But his voice wavered. First doubt I'd heard from him. We're going to the auction tomorrow. We're going to tell everyone the truth. That a grandfather tried to destroy his pregnant daughter. Orville quietly. He knows you're pregnant? I don't know. He didn't tell me. After they left, Orville called me. Lem, maybe they're right. Maybe it's time to stop. You're backing out? I'm saying, a pregnant daughter, a grandchild. Is revenge worth losing that? You recruited me to destroy your son. I was angry. But Derek's right. Family destroying family. Someone has to break it. And you're choosing now? Night before? I'm choosing my grandchild. Maybe you should choose yours. He hung up. I sat in my workshop. Everyone abandoning ship. Orville out. Gideon begging me to stop. Vera terrified. Dr. Kwan's words haunting me. February 14th, 9:47 p.m. My phone buzzed. Text from Derek. Lemuel, tomorrow we announce the Garrett Family Foundation in your name. Our gift to honor you. We're contributing $100,000 to start it. We want you there. We want to reconcile. Publicly. But here's reality. You either accept and contribute $2 million to the foundation, or we go public with everything. Your harassment, your fake personas, your manipulation of a pregnant woman. We have evidence, and we'll frame it simply, vindictive grandfather terrorizes expectant daughter. Who will Portland elite believe? Young couple expecting a baby? Or wealthy 72-year-old with history of experimental work who orchestrated psychological torture? Your choice, $2 million and reconciliation, or exposure and exile. Either way, we win. You taught us to be ruthless. Thanks for the lesson. Respond by midnight. Derek and Rosa. P.S. Baby's due August 12th. Your late wife's birthday month. I hope you'll want to be part of their life. Choose family. Or choose pride. Can't have both. Sound familiar? I read it 3 times. They checkmated me using my own tactics. Learned from the master. Flipped the narrative. Made me the villain. My phone rang. Orville. Did you get it? Yeah. What do we do? I don't know. Lem, maybe they're right. You're the one who recruited me. I was angry, but a pregnant daughter, a grandchild, is revenge worth it? He hung up. Messages piled up. Gideon, Dad, please, last chance. Choose family. Vera, I love you, whatever you decide. Dr. Kwan, remember you can't punish someone into loving you. Real, Lucas, ready for the show. This is going to be legendary. Russell, do we still have a performance tomorrow? Everyone wanting an answer. Auction starts in 21 hours. Point of no return. I opened a message to Derek and Rosa. Typed, I'll be there tomorrow. We'll talk. Didn't specify what kind. Didn't agree. Didn't cancel. Just, I'll be there. Hit send. Opened the drawer. The letter I'd written to my unborn grandchild. 6th draft. All of them said the same thing. I'm sorry. I couldn't stop. I tried. I'm sorry. I burned it. Watched it curl and blacken in the fireplace. Tomorrow. Portland Art Museum. 6 p.m. Final act. Winner takes all. Loser loses everything, and I still didn't know which ending I was directing toward. The marionettes watched. Silent jury. The king in purple robes no longer looked amused. Just sad. The Portland Art Museum glittered at 5:47 p.m. 300 guests in black tie, champagne glasses catching light, silent auction tables displaying weekend getaways and wine collections. I arrived alone. Gideon had refused to come. Vera stayed home. My tuxedo from 1995 fit looser than it used to. I'd lost weight. The USB drive in my pocket felt heavier than it should. Derek and Rosa were already at their VIP table, front and center. She wore a designer maternity dress, showing at 13 weeks now. He wore a rented tux, both playing perfect society couple. Orville sat 3 tables away with Goldie, who didn't know what was coming. Real Lucas Montgomery, near the stage. My actors scattered throughout the crowd. Electric tension. multiple parties with secret knowledge. At 6:45, I approached the event coordinator, asked to speak before Derek and Rosa's announcement, claimed I was the Garrett in their Garrett Family Foundation, wanted to introduce it properly. My theater reputation carried weight. She agreed. 7:28. I walked to the podium, tapped the microphone. The room quieted. Derek and Rosa's heads snapped toward me. Derek half rose from his seat. This wasn't their plan. Good evening, my name is Lemuel Garrett. Some of you know my theatrical work. Tonight, I'm directing my final production. Pause. It's called Marionettes. The screen behind me lit up. Title slide with puppet strings. I clicked forward. Screenshots of LinkedIn messages. Lucas Montgomery demanding money from Derek. Video of Derek at lunch with my investors. Russell, Claudia, Marcus standing up in the audience now, waving, revealing themselves as actors. Scattered gasps. Derek's face draining of color. Next slide. Beatrice Winslow emails to Rosa. Her excited responses. Her Instagram celebrations of a fake job. Rosa's hand flew to her mouth. Then audio. Rosa's voice bright and casual. Once Dad dies, we're set for life. 5 million, maybe more. The old fool doesn't even know what he's worth. A woman gasped loudly. Rosa stood, shouting, That's out of context. The audio continued. Derek says we just have to wait. Keep him happy. Pretend we care. Derek yelled. Turn it off. I kept my voice calm. I can't. It's the truth. Truth doesn't turn off. Orville walked to the stage, each step slower than the last. Behind him, Goldie's face crumbled as understanding hit. I'm Orville Riley, Derek's father. His voice shook. That recording, my son told me they were planning to use Lemuel's money before he died. When I asked about the $73,000 he borrowed from me, he said I'd get it back from the inheritance. Orville, what are you doing? Goldie stood, tears already starting. Orville didn't look at her. What I should have done years ago, Derek's voice broke. Dad, you're destroying your own son. No, you destroyed yourself. I'm just confirming it. Real Lucas Montgomery stood, theatrical flourish. I'm Lucas Montgomery, the actual one. These two tried to use my identity. Mr. Garrett hired me to expose this fraud. Confused applause rippled through the crowd. Rosa suddenly stood, hand on her belly, voice loud. I'm pregnant. He's destroying his pregnant daughter. This is abuse, sympathetic murmurs. Some women instinctively leaning toward her. I kept my voice soft. I know. I've known for 2 weeks. The room went silent. And I'm not destroying my granddaughter. I'm showing her what parents shouldn't be. Pause. My daughter and her husband looked at me on Christmas and suggested I eat on a toilet because there was no chair. They'd planned to use my inheritance before I died. This, I gestured to the screen, is teaching consequences. Derek rushed the stage, grabbed the microphone from my hand. The check. The $5 million check you tore up. It was fake. Prove you even have the money. Good point, the crowd murmured. Was this all a broke old man's fantasy? I smiled, small, sad. Prepared, nodded to the tech booth. Bank of America statement filled the screen. My name. Balance, 784-293-19, dated today at 3 p.m. Arnold Chen, Bank of America. A man stood in the audience. I certified that statement this afternoon. It's legitimate. Derek staggered backward. The microphone hit the floor with a screech of feedback. Rosa sat down hard, crying, not performing anymore. Genuinely broken, I picked up the microphone. I'm creating the Garrett Family Foundation, real one, for people who value family over money. First grant, $100,000 to my son Gideon for archaeological research. Second grant, $50,000 to Orville and Goldie Riley for honesty, even when it hurt. Some applause, uncertain, uncomfortable. And to Derek and Rosa, nothing. You have your debts, your choices, and your child on the way. Figure it out, like adults, like the parents you'll need to become. Daddy, please, Rosa's voice cracked. I'm not your daddy anymore. I'm your cautionary tale. The crowd split. Some applauded. Justice served. Some looked away. Too cruel. Some left. Too awkward. Derek and Rosa sat frozen at their VIP table. Island of devastation in a room full of dressed-up strangers. Someone whispered behind me, Did we just witness a murder? Several. Social murder, at least. Derek tried to stand. Couldn't. Rosa put her head in her hands. Their friends at neighboring tables looked away. Nobody met their eyes. They finally stood together, walked out through the main gallery, 200 people watching. Nobody stopped them. Nobody said goodbye. Just watched, like they were exhibits. Rosa's heel caught. She stumbled. Derek caught her. The first genuine kindness he'd shown in months. They made it outside. The valet brought their BMW. They sat in it for 11 minutes before Derek could start the engine. I received a standing ovation. It felt like applause at a funeral, real Lucas whispered as he passed. How was that? I think I nailed the gravitas. You're enjoying this too much. Isn't that the point? No, it wasn't, but I didn't say it. 10:34. The crowd dispersed. Cleaning crew started. I stood backstage alone, removing the USB drive, hands finally shaking now that it was over. Orville entered, tie loosened, looking decades older. Goldie left me, won't answer calls. I'm sorry. Don't be. I chose this. We both did. Pause. Was it worth it? Long pause. Ask me in 10 years. Fair enough. He left. I stood alone with the marionettes I'd brought. The king in purple robes sat on the tech table. Strings tangled. I should fix them. I won't. Let them be tangled. It's honest. My phone buzzed. Text from the bank manager. After your presentation, 17 people asked about donating to your foundation. Well done. Another text. Society columnist. May I interview you for Sunday edition? The world calling it success. Calling it justice. I called it something else, but I didn't have a word for it yet. I drove home. Sat in my car for 23 minutes in the driveway. Didn't know why. Gideon called. Dad, I saw the videos. Everyone's posting. What did you do? What I had to. Did you? Did you really? I don't know anymore. Come to my place. Don't be alone tonight. I need to be alone tonight. Dad, I love you. Thank you for trying to stop me. You were right. I'm sorry. I hung up, went inside, put the marionettes back on their shelves, poured bourbon, didn't drink it. I won. It felt like losing. The Portland Tribune landed on my doorstep at 9:14 a.m., February 16th, morning after. Theater director stages revenge drama at charity gala. My photo at the podium. Inset photos of Derek and Rosa leaving. The article called it theatrical justice and uncomfortable public shaming simultaneously. I folded the paper, didn't finish reading. My phone showed 247 unread emails. I turned it off. Portland's reaction split. Some supported me. They had it coming. Some criticized. Too far, especially with pregnancy. Social media burned with debate. I stayed off it. Derek and Rosa became pariahs overnight. Friends ghosted them. Derek couldn't find work. Rosa's Instagram followers dropped from 3,200 to 847. By March, they'd moved from their West Hills house, foreclosure, to a small apartment in Gresham. My daily life changed too. Some old theater friends reconnected, impressed. Others stopped calling, disturbed. Fewer social event invitations. People didn't know how to act around me. Gideon called once a week. Strained, careful. Still my son, but looking at me differently now. Vera visited every Wednesday. Brought casseroles. Worried about me. I'd lost 15 pounds. Didn't leave the house much. March 15th. Coffee with Orville. We sat in silence, letting our cups go cold. Goldie won't take my calls. I'm sorry. Don't be. I knew the price. He paused. Did you? I thought I did. But knowing and feeling are different things. More silence. Derek's working at Olive Garden, night manager. How's he doing? He shows up. That's something. We didn't discuss if it was worth it. Just sat there. Two old men who destroyed their families for consequences. April. Dr. Kwan's office again. How are you sleeping? 3-4 hours? Nightmares? Memories? Same thing. Of? Rosa at 12. Paint on her hands. Then Rosa at 38. Crying, pregnant. Both versions are real. Both are my daughter. Can't reconcile them. Do you regret what you did? Long pause. Regret is too simple. I regret that it was necessary. You sound like you're convincing yourself. Maybe I am. I won, Dr. Kwan. I got my revenge. So why do I feel worse than I did at Christmas? Because revenge doesn't heal wounds. It just proves you can make others hurt too. And that's not the victory you actually wanted. I cried in her office for 20 minutes. May 12th, 3:47 a.m., My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Photo of a newborn baby. Pink hat. Scrunched face. Born May 11th, 11:34 p.m. 7 LBS 3 Ozzy. Maeve Patricia Riley. Healthy. From Rose's new number. No other words. I stared at the photo for 2 hours. My granddaughter. I didn't respond. Didn't know how. May 16th. An envelope arrived. Rose's handwriting. Inside, hospital photo of Maeve. And a letter. Dad, she's here. Maeve Patricia Riley. Perfect. Terrifying. I don't know how to start this letter, so I'll just tell you the truth. You were right. About everything. I can't undo it. But holding Maeve, I understood. Everything you must have felt holding me. The promise you make to protect them, including from yourself. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm asking if you want to know your granddaughter. Not as leverage, just because she's part of you. You don't have to respond. But if you want to meet her, we're at St. Vincent Hospital. I'm sorry, Dad, not for getting caught, for doing it. Your daughter, hopefully still, Rosa. P.S. I kept something from Christmas. You'll see why someday. I read it 17 times over 3 days. May 23rd. I drove to the hospital. Derek in the waiting area. We nodded. Neither spoke. I entered the room. Rosa in bed, exhausted. Baby and bassinet beside her. Thank you for coming. Can I? She nodded. I looked down at Maeve. Sharp breath. Oh, she has your eyes. I picked her up. Settled in the chair. Rocked slightly. Spoke to her, not Rosa. Hello, Maeve. I'm your grandfather. Your mother and I have history. Not all good. But you're new. You get to be different. Better. Rosa cried quietly. I looked at her directly for the first time. I'm not ready to forgive yet. I know. Maybe someday, but not today. That's more than I expected. But I'll come. To see her. If you'll let me. Her voice broke. Please, I stood. Returned Maeve to Rosa. She's beautiful. You did good. We're trying to do better. Keep trying. At the door, I paused. Rosa? Yeah? I loved you. Love you. Past and present tense. That's why it hurts so much. And why I'm here now. Because love is stubborn. I love you too, Dad. I'm so sorry. I know. Me too. Summer passed slowly. I saw Maeve 4 times. Supervised visits at parks, coffee shops. Rosa present, polite, distant. Conversations about baby only. No discussion of the gala. No apologies beyond that first letter. No forgiveness. Just coexistence. Derek got his restaurant job. Rosa worked part-time customer service. They were in therapy, couples and individual. Struggling but trying. Their social circle, gone. Their house, gone. Their pride, gone. Their daughter, here. That's what was left. October 15th? 3:17 p.m. A package arrived. Portland postmark. I let it sit on my table for 6 hours before opening it. Inside, the check. My $5 million check from Christmas, torn into 47 pieces that night. Now reassembled like a puzzle, glued to black velvet, professionally framed. Rose's note beside it. I kept every piece. Took me 4 months to fit them together, like therapy. Each piece I glued, I thought about what I'd lost. Not the money. You. This isn't to ask for anything. It's to say, I remember. The most expensive lesson costs nothing to buy but everything to learn. Thank you for teaching it, even though it hurt. Rosa, I hung it on my workshop wall, stared at it. The check was back. Not functional, no bank would honor glued pieces, but whole, symbolic. I thought about Christmas night, the tearing, the satisfaction, the beginning. I thought about the gala, the revelation, the triumph, the emptiness. I thought about Maeve's tiny hand gripping my finger. My phone buzzed. Rosa. Thanks for the baby books. Maeve loves the dinosaur one. She drools on it. I typed back. Dinosaurs are important. Rosa. Can you come by next week, Thursday? Lem. I'll be there. It's not forgiveness. Not reconciliation. Not peace. Just showing up. Week after week. Slowly. Maybe in 10 years we'll have something resembling a relationship. Maybe not. But I'll show up. Vera arrived with her Wednesday casserole. We ate in comfortable silence. She'd seen me at my worst. Still showed up. That counted for something. After she left, I sat in my workshop with coffee. looking at the check mosaic. My phone showed photos of Maeve, 3 months old now, starting to smile real smiles. She smiled at me last visit. She doesn't know what I did, just knows, Grandpa. That's all she'll ever need to know. The check reminds me, teaches me. $5 million torn apart, put back together. Still worthless as currency, priceless as metaphor. Some things, once broken, can never be the same. You can see every crack, every tear line, every place it was destroyed. That's my family now. Visible damage. Held together with effort, not love. Not yet. Maybe someday. I pour bourbon. Don't drink it. Just hold the glass. Gideon calls. Hey, Dad. Just checking in. You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Really? No, but I'm managing. That's all any of us can do. Yeah. Love you, Dad. Love you too. The world keeps turning. I keep existing in it. I won the war. Lost pieces of myself in the process. Net result? Unclear. Check back in 10 years. The marionettes watch from their shelves. The king in purple robes, strings still tangled. The show is over. The audience went home. The stage is dark. But I'm still here. That counts for something, doesn't it? If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the left. Thank you for watching. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the left. Thank you for watching.